follow your energy and do what makes you feel good. Because I don't think enough people follow their passions, because there's always a reason why that they can't be the main thing that we do. We just have to do things for a short period of time that we might not want to do, with the idea in mind that we have the capacity to create our life. I don't think enough people know that they can design their own life through their thoughts and their actions and their intentions.
It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
The Health in the Real World podcast is sponsored by most exercises and workouts, whether they be running, biking, elliptical, rowing machine, traditional weightlifting, or even CrossFit, do not give you a balanced workout. And when you do workouts that neglect even one area, you're out of balance, resulting in pain and injury as well. Achieve your goals with the fitness program your chiropractor would love. Visit chrisjanke.com/pod to watch the free video. Hello and welcome to Health in the Real World. I'm Chris Janke and I'm joined today with Megan Czuchra. Megan, how are you doing today?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me on today.
Good. Absolutely. You're welcome. Well, you're very into health, wellness, and give everybody a quick introduction as far as who you are and what you do in the world of health.
Sure. My name is Megan Czuchra. We already talked. But I help busy adults build the foundation for a healthy, holistic lifestyle. And that came from working in a, gym setting, and just seeing that so many people were not looking at all of the other aspects of their health and they weren't getting the results they wanted, but there's all of these other root causes that are not allowing them to get the results. So holistic lifestyle is where it's at.
Absolutely. I heard this saying before that you can't out exercise a bad diet. And that's absolutely true. I remember when I first started, I was working at the YMCA and there were a few group exercise teachers who were significantly overweight. And I'm like, how can that be? I see them, they're literally working out all day long and they were probably at least 20 pounds overweight. And later on, I found out what they ate. And obviously it wasn't a surprise. Like they were just eating very bad food. So what is it? Do you find a lot of people who are the same way, like that, clients that you work with, they're like, well, I don't understand. I work out 5 days a week, and then you have to go and fine tune their diet. Is it kind of like that?
Yes. And I also think that even deeper than the diet is more of what they're doing with their life, their quality of sleep, because if they're not getting enough rest or taking care of themselves in that sense, then they are going to want to eat unhealthy to get the caffeine or the sugar so that they can sustain the work that they need to do. So I think it goes one level deeper, because when you take care of yourself, even by making sure that you get enough rest, like your body wants to eat healthy. Your body's kind of default is taking care of itself. But I think when we don't have enough energy is when, or we're too stressed out, that's when we tend to start overeating or eating the wrong things because they're quick and easy.
Right.
Yeah.
So for you, is it, I definitely agree with you that once you are taking care of yourself, like sleeping right, the nutrition kind of takes care of itself. So what does your intake process typically look like? Like, do you dive after sleep first? What does that look like as far as customizing a program for somebody?
Well, it's going to vary per individual. And some people might have it depends on where they're at, because they might want to start focusing on movement first, or maybe they want to start focusing on their nutrition, and whatever is their priority is what you want to start with, because you want them to be successful. And then also there are assessments that you can do that are looking at your food, what is your movement and levels. I am certified with the Czech Institute. Are you familiar with that?
I am. Paul Czech.
But yeah, they have a whole assessment, and it's actually a great book that I would highly recommend anybody read, but it's How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy.
Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic book.
Yeah. And that assessment in there, I think, is a really good starting point. But again, it depends on the lifestyle, but if somebody's busy, and those are the people who I work with, they need small snacks or small things that they can do throughout their day that's not going to overwhelm their lifestyle change.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So did you come across this desire to help people with their health through a personal experience yourself? Like, have you ever hit that point where you're like, oh man, I really have to make a change? Or has it always been sort of natural for you?
That's a great question. Both.
Both.
um and ever since I was a kid, I always really liked helping people. Like, this sticks out to me. I would help my grandfather shave his face and put on his socks when he was like 85 years old. And I was always told, like, oh, Megan, you'd be such a good nurse, blah, 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 just because I like people.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of started it in the nurture aspect. But I think what really got me set off on my health specifically was when I was 18, I got in a car accident, and it wasn't bad, but I herniated my discs and had severe sciatica and did everything from spinal taps to spinal traction, physical therapy. And what really helped was starting to move my body and stretch, which seems so small, but then also continuing with the very much passion about wanting to help busy adults was from burning myself out running my first company and realizing that, like, there is way more to me taking care of myself than even what I'm teaching. So
Right.
yeah.
And then it kind of got you mentioned that what you were teaching was more fitness, right? And I think a lot of people do get into that trap, and it really is multi-layered. I actually had a client yesterday. She's sick. Well, she was sick last week. She's just coming off her sickness. Yesterday's workout was stretching. I said, this is not like a workout. We're just going to stretch. We're just going to move you because I know you're feeling, she said like 75% better. And then after the workout, she said, okay, well, so should I jump on the stationary bike and do some stuff? I said, no, you're good. And so I explained to her about how like lifting weights or how cardio are actually like two steps, right? Like, you're actually weaker after you do weightlifting, right? And then it's your body's response to that that builds up your strength. And so I think it's that second half that people sometimes forget. It's like, okay, I did the breakdown. Now I need to build myself back up. I need to eat. I need to sleep. I need to rest, get a massage if that's in the budget, stuff like that. And that's the part that I know for sure myself, as an athlete, high school, college, I definitely neglected that. And when you're 18, 20, sometimes you can get away with it, but the people that you help, the busy adults, we can't get away with it, right? If we're breaking ourselves down with workouts, it's only a matter of time, right, before something happens.
100%. And it's either you're going to get sick or you're going to get hurt. And
Right.
the sickness could be, if you're not resting, then that could be where you have I've had multiple clients come to me on their deathbed, and that's when they make the change. Like,
Wow.
that's when they decide they came out of it, obviously, before they came to me, but they were that sick that they were like, oh my God, I need to change. But for me, it was more like I just crashed, right?
Mhm.
And I think more and more of us tend to crash or get physically sick. And so we need to put more of a emphasis on rest and sleep, and also taking things that are more mindful activities rather than going to exercise, because sure, that releases stress, but if you're not training your brain to calm down and get into its parasympathetic state, then we're unbalanced. So if we're all in our SNS and fight or flight all the time and not getting into the PNS, the rest and digest, they're meant to work together. And if this one's on and this one's off all the time, it's going to create distress within the body.
Right. Exactly. That fight or flight was meant to be a very short-term response to that. Everyone says the tiger that's chasing you, right? And you run up the tree, even though you're not going to escape a tiger by running up a tree. You know what I mean, right? It's very short. You get away and whew, that was close. And then you're chilling in the cave until your heart rate comes back down. But we are so elevated for so long. Do you have like a go-to, like, do you have a specific meditation you go to, or like maybe a specific recipe, or like do you have a, something that you tend to give people a lot, like, oh, hey, go do my anti-tiger meditation or anything like that?
That sounds really cool.
The
But
anti-tiger. Let's put that one together.
um, the thing that I suggest for people to do is get away from stimulus. So getting away from the computer, putting away your phone, turning off the TV. And maybe it's something where a walk outside without music is going to get you. But the easiest way to get into that is to put everything away, but do some breathing exercises. And that could be box breathing. It could be like a 4-4-8-4. It really just depends. But I think the easiest, simplest one for somebody to start off with is doing a box breathing where you're visualizing the box and counting across. And that gives your mind something to focus on and calms your nervous system down.
Nice. So you do like maybe 4 seconds across,
Yeah.
and then 4 seconds down, and then 4 seconds over, and 4 seconds up.
Yes. And really the longer the better, because then
Mhm.
you're training when we do long exhales, it stimulates that parasympathetic nervous system and then
Right.
also balances the energy coming in. In addition to that, I forget what I was going to say. So ask me another question.
I'll jump in on what you just said, because the opposite of that,
Yeah.
when I have clients do like very vigorous weightlifting,
Uh-huh.
I will have them focus on the inhale, and I'll have them pull in so much air so fast, like, and I say, like, you almost feel like you're hyperventilating if you're not lifting weights. Like right now, just sitting here, that was too much oxygen for my body, and it's just like, whoa. But if you're lifting, you're exerting yourself. You need that quick breath.
Right.
And so that's a good point you make. It's like that long trailing exhale is the one that's going to do the exact opposite. It's going to pull you into that rest and digest phase. And I think that's the thing. It's like there's no good or bad breathing. It's just match your breathing with your activity. And I tell people the same thing with their food. There's no real good or bad food, like keto or eat a little carbs. Just like match it with your activity, right? If you're a professional athlete, you probably don't want to eliminate a whole food group like in keto or something like that necessarily. On the other hand, if you're really not moving, you're not going to be, blowing up your food intake. So it's just about, kind of matching where you are, right? And that's why, like you said, it's all custom. You have to see where they are.
Right. I think the breath is one of the most underutilized tools that we can use, because you can use it, like you're saying, to hype you up and give you more energy, or we can use it to calm us down and help us fall asleep and help us just focus and help us rest. So there's so many things that we can do, and the quality of our breathing is also going to determine the quality of our health. So I think it's a very underutilized tool.
I think that's very well said. And it's so foundational. The quality of our breathing is the quality of our health. You're not going to be selling any like crazy fitness products with that mantra, the quality of your breathing, right? You can't.
Right.
It's just like go sit with yourself and just breathe. It's like it's already in you. It's already there. So agreed.
Even in the sense, if we're not utilizing our diaphragm, that can also help, will not help, but that will cause other imbalances in the body with pulling on our lower back if it's not moving, because then it massages all our organs too, and then it helps release the psoas muscle too. And all of us sitting all day, our psoas muscle is over and contracted, and then if it's not getting massaged to get the blood flow through, then we go to stand up, we pull on our lower back and hurt ourselves.
For all
breathing
those,
can help our posture. Yeah.
absolutely. All you guys watching this who don't know what the psoas is, it's spelled with PSOAS. It that muscle is just
Amazing.
Just the fact that it basically connects your lower body to your upper body. It attaches to your lumbar vertebrae, attaches to your femur. It's a hip flexor. It also, if it's too tight, it'll overarch your back. It'll inhibit your abs from being able to work. If it's too tight, I mean, it's crazy. So if you guys don't know what the psoas is, Google it right now. Look at a picture. You'll be like, I didn't even know I had that muscle. let
There's a
alone, right?
there's a book called the psoas book, and that book completely changed my life. And what was very interesting about learning about the psoas muscle is that that muscle is responsible for our flight or fight system when we're a baby. So it's the muscle that curls us up in a ball. So when we are sitting a long time and that psoas muscle is contracted, our body automatically thinks that we're in a state of fight or flight.
Wow. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why your Apple Watch tells you to stand up.
Yeah.
And it sometimes can be that simple, right? You stand up, you're elongating the psoas, and then add some breathing into it. That's a win-win.
Yes.
So Megan, what do you, let's go a little bit bigger picture. I like ending the show with, we talked a lot about health, fitness, the psoas, very detailed stuff, right? Let's go very big picture. So
Okay.
you are a motivational speaker. They call you into a university graduation or like a corporate wellness or something like that. What are Megan's rules for like how to get the most out of your life, and like what's your 1 to 2 minute motivational speech?
The best advice that I ever got was from my little sister. And she told me, follow your energy and do what makes you feel good. Because I don't think enough people follow their passions, because there's always a reason why that they can't be the main thing that we do. We just have to do things for a short period of time that we might not want to do, with the idea in mind that we have the capacity, we have the ability and the capability, I said the same thing, to create our life. I don't think enough people know that they can design their own life through their thoughts and their actions and their intentions, because anything is possible. And I don't mean that in a very cliche way, but we literally can do anything and change anything in our life with the quality of our thinking and our actions.
I like that. I also like how you made it very practical too. You said, you might have to do something that you don't want to do. You might have to go clean toilets for a living, whatever you do for a living,
Right.
so that you can do your passion. And I guess the goal is to make that passion, maybe it takes up this much of your life, and let it slowly start to take up more of your life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Megan, how do people get in touch with you? Website, social media? Do you have any programs coming up?
Right now the program that I have is called Way to Wellness 101, which eases people into building the foundation of a healthy lifestyle. So it teaches busy adults how to ease their way into a healthy, holistic lifestyle. Got the word. And then I am on Instagram, worldofwellness.center, or Megan Czuchra. Try to spell that one. And then my website's worldofwellness.center. So yeah.
Sounds
We're gonna
good.
feel good, have fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got all kinds of fun spellings today, like Megan Czuchra and then psoas. They're all so look it up, people.
Yeah.
Well, Megan, I appreciate you joining me. Again, this is Megan Czuchra, Health in the Real World. Thanks again, and hopefully we can have you on soon.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Health in the Real World show. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Visit mycorebalance.com to learn more.